We're here.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. We are just going to give everyone a few minutes to join, and then we will get started.
I think we are only just at 10 as well, so let people grab a drink and we'll move on in a few minutes.
Hopefully, you all are having a decent first week back after Christmas. It's always difficult the first week back, but hopefully you've settled back in okay. We'll give everyone a few minutes to join, and then we can get started.
We're here in a very cold Lancaster, but disappointingly not snowy.
We don't get snow.
I know.
We really don't. Like we had
Yeah.
like a right little bit of it, and then we're too close to the sea. We don't get snow, unfortunately. I think sometimes when you look at Aberdeen, it's probably for the best. Oh,
Yeah, I know. Jealous of the flurries though.
cool. All right, I can see a few people have joined, so I think we will get started.
Amazing. So, yeah, as Jack has said, welcome everybody. This is our January 26th product update. Happy New Year, if it's not drastically too late to be wishing everybody that. Thanks for taking the time for joining us. So today's session, we'll keep to the same format. So we're going to talk about our new features and our upcoming features in your Access Planet platform.
Yeah, perfect. So the session is being recorded today. It will be available on our on-demand page later today. The Q&A is also open throughout. Please submit any questions that you've got, and we'll try and get all those covered off at the end.
Fantastic. So thank you. As I said before, this session is all about taking you through the latest functionality available to you on your platform and giving you a view of what is to come in the future. So we will be kicking off with the new features from our 8.6 release this winter. Jack will then be giving you a tour of what's to come in the now, the next, and the later. And then we'll wrap up by answering any questions you have on new functionality or that now, next, later. So that's our agenda. We're just going to do a quick intro. So I'm Helen. I'm your customer success manager at accessplanit. My favorite feature, as you can see here, is dashboards. For that visual view is something that I appreciate. Being able to get that information quickly is definitely my favorite part of what I do. Fun fact, mine is Tough Mudder, so I like those muddy extreme assault courses. I've got lots of headbands to prove it and a previously broken foot. So yeah, so much fun.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Legit, I did not know that.
right. This summer, Jack, you and I.
No. My name is Jack, for those who don't know. I'm a product manager now at Access Planet. Like Helen, I also like dashboards. The visual summaries are so much better than those lists, like Helen mentioned. And fun fact, this is updating because it's now 191 roller coasters. My 2026 target is 250. We'll see. I need to update that, but yeah, that's where we're at.
See, if you do a Tough Mudder, I'll maybe go on a roller coaster.
Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Anyway,
So let's get started on the new functionality. Our winter release is currently being rolled out to all platforms. If you haven't had that update yet, you can expect it in the next week or two at least. This was our biggest update for a while, and there were three major new features. We've got the report engine enhancements, data grid views are now available to all, and three additions to the custom fields. But there's way more than that, and we'll try to cover as much as we can today. But let's start with report engine. For all of you, we know reporting is critical. Reporting is what helps keep your finger on the pulse, whether that's bookings, revenue, attendance, performance. Reporting supports all day-to-day decisions, longer-term planning, and gives you that confidence that what you're working on is accurate and sees all the effort that you're putting into as well. So historically, when it comes to reporting in Access Planet, the first instinct has always been to use Report Writer, which makes total sense. Report Writer is directly linked to the database. It's very configurable and it's super powerful. In the right hands, you can build very detailed, highly specific reports that answer complex questions. However, with that level of power does come that complexity, and we know that Report Writer can feel overwhelming for some, particularly those that don't need or want that really high depth every time. It often requires more of a setup, a deeper understanding of how the data fits together, and sometimes a bit of trial and error just to get the answer you're looking for. So what we've done with that is we've consistently heard and listened to our customers, and you just want a quick, reliable insight without always having to build something from scratch. So we've spent a lot of time researching how reporting is actually used day to day. We've been listening to your feedback and identifying where we can make things simpler without losing that value. And that's why we've put the real focus onto improving our report engine. So Report Engine is designed to be much more user-friendly. It isn't trying to replace Report Writer at all. There's absolutely still the place for that deep bespoke reporting. But Report Writer is about making reporting easier, faster, and more accessible to a wider range of your users. So while it isn't as configurable as our Report Writer, it's still powerful, and it now comes with a new range of features that can make it even more useful for you. These updates are all about helping you get meaningful insight to your data quickly, confidently, and without any unnecessary complexity. So this is what's new. Oh, we've got a slow fade
Sorry.
there. You can now export your Report Engine reports directly to Excel, so you can analyze, share, and manipulate your data outside of your platform more easily. The export option is available when you are viewing or editing Report Writer reports. Use the option to export to Excel. When you report downloads, there will be an Excel sheet for each gadget in your report, so you can confidently click through and analyze your data. So next, you can schedule your reports and send in a PDF format automatically. This could be weekly, monthly, quarterly, or just a one-off whenever you need it. You can send your reports to specific users in your platform, or you can specify email addresses if you want to send it to people that are not users. So this is super helpful for keeping stakeholders up to date with your bookings, courses, and finances. So next, we have updated the filters on gadgets that now work alongside the filters on reports if you want them to. So per gadget, you can choose to use the report filters and then additionally add any gadget level filters. This means that when the report filter changes, for example, if the report changes from filtering courses that started in the last 6 months to the last 12 months, the gadget will automatically inherit this change, but will keep its filter of only including those with a status of completed. So we've also made a lot of usability improvements throughout the report engine to make building and navigating much faster and more intuitive. So this will include reorganizing the gadget edit options so that the most important settings appear first and in a more user-friendly order. We've added a new cancel button so it's easy to escape without saving changes if you've changed your mind, and lots of little user changes making things easier. So finally, to get you up and running with reports quickly, we've rolled out 30 new standard reports. So these are available for you to use right away, or you can make changes to them, clone them, whatever you like. Absolutely worth a look to see what's in there and available to you right now. I won't take you through them all. There's far too many, but there are 4 of the 30 that we can show you to give you an idea. So this is the course league table report. It looks at all the courses you've held over the last 12 months, showing you the number of courses, number of delegates, average delegate per course, the total income of courses brought in, and the average fill rate. So that's really great for spotting trends and identifying the lucrative courses. Then there is the account balance report. So this shows us all accounts that have invoices with an outstanding balance. This is good for keeping your eye on accounts that take a while to pay their invoices. Next, there is an opportunities overview. As you can see, this is looking at opportunities, how many are open, who are they assigned to, what sales stage are they at, and then detail of those are at the bottom. We've also have an evaluating opportunities report where you can reflect on your closed ops. So finally, here is a very helpful baskets and booking trends report. So this shows us all of the bookings per month, so you can look for any peaks, troughs here. We also can monitor abandoned baskets, how many bookings you've had per discount code, and what course templates were the most popular or booked together. Great for identifying potential bundle options. So let's move on to data grid views. So if you have access to data grids, you will now have access to create your own view. Feature has been available to super admins since the summer, and it's been really excellent to see how all of you have been using and tailoring the data grids to find the information quickly. Now, not only can all users create those views, super admins can also share those views that they've already set up with others. Views can be shared with others based on any of the following: the account group, accounts, job roles, like a training admin or a super admin, and specific users. When you share your view, you are still the owner. So unlike the data grid filters, any change you make will be seen by the people you've shared your view with. But they will be unable to make changes to your view. That option is available exclusively to the person that created that view. On to custom fields, and we have three big additions here. So you can now create multi-select custom fields, resource requirement custom fields, and product and services purchase custom fields.
Multi-select is my fave.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, very cool. So multi-select lets you choose multiple values from a drop down instead of just being limited to one. Often we do need to add more than one. So ideal when needing flexibility without creating multiple separate fields. So here's a few examples of this. So recording dietary requirements for users, similarly accessing accessible needs for users, often we'll have more than one. Also, if you don't like tasks, you can create something like this, course readiness checklist to monitor your course prep. Multi-select field lets you, oh no, I was about to say we've done that one. So it's the mouse, I think. So we're going to move on to resource requirements. So rather than being a new type of custom field, this is a new module in your platform where you can create custom fields. And we have three examples of the kind of fields you can create here. We have trainer role for each of the trainers on a course. Who is the lead, who is the assessor, and who is the observer. Payment details, how and when we will pay our trainers, venues, catering, things like that, and paid. This is a checkbox that we use to indicate when we have paid our resources, and these are just a few of the examples available. So finally, purchase custom fields. I'll be able to show you a little more on these as well. So it's also an additional module that you can store custom field information in. So in this example, we've created a free text box to store the tracking reference for products and services purchases that need to be shipped. This could be included in emails, or it can be included in any way that you want to send that over. And you can also send them out to your customers about their purchases. So those are our three headlines, but this isn't all that was included in our winter release, but we would be here all morning. But here are some honorable mentions. So we have recently rolled out API scopes, not scoops, for our API version 2 feeds. API scopes gives you a simple and secure way to control exactly what level of access is available when building integrations using the API feeds. So instead of granting that full API permission, where every time you set up an integration, you can now define precisely what part of that data an API user is allowed to see or interact with. And this is especially useful if you're working with a third-party developer where you may not want them to have that full access. And there's quite a few off-the-shelf scopes available. Then it's very easy to build your own if you want to add or create something a bit more bespoke by choosing which modules the integration should have access to for creating, reading, updating, and deleting. So if you have API version 2 feeds and would like access to create your own scope, then please have a chat with myself or any member of the team, and we can get that sorted for you. So you can now add products and services as opportunity items. Super excited about this one as well. So you can manage courses and non-course entries from the same place. So we have an opportunity with 2 courses and 1 product and service being inquired about together. Then we make the booking and we can include some or all of them. By popular demand, we are now adding in a configuration option on how many products and services can be purchased in one go through the basket. So this means that you're no longer capped for 20 for checkout or 50 if you're still on the shopping basket. With checkout, this is a new option in your checkout option in your administration part. So this can be updated by yourself if you'd like. With the shopping basket, please get in touch with us and we can update that for you. This one is also the result of a lot of product suggestions, so please keep them coming. They are always very welcome. You can now replace that green thumbs up by messaging, that green thumbs up message at the end of the checkout basket with a message of your choosing using the colors and icons that you can like to make it more yourself. This is available for you to change in the branding option for your checkout basket. So here is a recap of our honourable mentions. So we can limit that API version 2. I'm loving the emoji on this and undercover, absolutely. We're going to sell products and services through opportunities. You can set a maximum purchase quantity for products and services and customize checkout confirm message to change that thumbs up should you want to. So that is not all. Following the release of our Microsoft Teams integration over the summer, our team have been really busy developing even more ways to connect your platform with other tools throughout your organization. Integrations are about making your platform work as part of a wider ecosystem rather than in isolation. Most organizations that we know don't rely on a single system. You're using a tool for communications, finance, sometimes HR, learning delivery, and reporting. And integrations help those systems work together more seamlessly. So by connecting systems, you can reduce manual entry, as we know, cut down on that duplication that happens, and minimize the risk of errors that come from copying information between platforms. That means less admin time for your team and more confidence in the accuracy of your data. So here is a quick run through of our latest integrations. So we've already had Teams. We now have Power BI, which connects your platform and data for operational reporting, MailChimp for connecting those mailing lists, contacts with your accessplanit users, API feeds for building and connecting your own course booking portal and basket, SurveyMonkey for connecting your delegates and their course feedback, and HubSpot for connecting your customer data. So these integrations are chargeable additions. However, we can offer packages if you're interested. Lots of people have been in multiple connectors. So please get in touch with me or any of the others people on our team and we can get that information over to you. No pressure if you just want to have a look and see what you think.
Man, thanks. There's a lot of really good new things there. That's just some of them. Read the release notes because there's absolutely tons more stuff in there. But we're going to now look at what we are working on now and what we are working on in the future. Just a really quick recap on how our roadmap works. So hopefully many of you will now be familiar with the now, next, later roadmap and how things generally go from right to left. They're structured around 3 broad time horizons. It does take time into account, but in a bit more of a flexible way. Going from right to left is a bit linear, but it doesn't mean they're always going to be in that way. So it's more flexible, dynamic, and it's not set in stone. One thing to note is anything that we talk about today is generally what we're looking at doing, but nothing is 100% guaranteed. So anything that we cover today isn't always 100% going to be done. Things do change, but just to give you an idea. And also just something extra that we're adding in. So your accessplanit platform works on the plan, manage, sell, and serve framework, I guess. So this is what you're managing really within the platform. Every feature that we research, design, and develop is going to be tagged with one of these, so you'll be able to see how we are choosing what we develop, and to make sure that the things that we develop are the most impactful. It's not a secret, and it's just to make sure that we are doing the right thing, basically. You'll start to see these throughout the different webinars and areas such as Loot Club as well. So first of all, we're going to go through a couple more integrations. The first one is Zoom. This is really close to launch. We're hoping to have this one launched in the next couple of weeks. It's very similar to the Microsoft Teams integration, but we'll link your Zoom account to the platform. We've already touched on it, but SurveyMonkey is also very close to being launched. And one of the ones that we have started work on is a Zero integration. So currently, It is using a third party to link any finance platforms together called Zinc. We're looking at moving away from that and creating direct connections with Zero being the first platform. This is very, very popular by the looks of it. So we should have this out as soon as we can, and hopefully make that finance reporting between the two platforms much easier. We have also started work on some updates to dashboard and report engine. As you can see, we will be introducing charts into dashboards and report engine. We will be starting with pie charts, bar charts, and line graphs, I think it's more called. So we'll be integrating those into the platform. The first one will be a pie chart, so we'll be looking to roll these out. So making those dashboards a little bit more visual, being able to see, those graphs in a bit more of a visual way, being able to present them in a different way than just like a data grid view or a statistic gadget. So it makes it a bit easy to read for some people that are a bit more visual as well. That's just something I've wanted for a while, so I'm really glad we're doing this. And then, as I mentioned, just looking at report engine, we have added XLS. We'll be looking at adding CSV formatting to export new reports from report engines. That's just another extra little tweak we'll be making to report engine scheduling shortly. And one thing we're looking at now, working on, is also resource clashes. So seeing things from trainers and venue availability clearly across multi-session courses, automatically detecting and preventing clashes with any unavailability of your trainers, for example, handling cancellations cleanly by removing resources from calendars, and saving time and keeping your training calendar accurate and reliable. So this is all about trying to remove any clashes, making sure we're not double booking venues, double booking trainers. So these are going to give you more alerts of when those are happening. So that's something we're working on currently as well. And the final thing that I want to talk about today that we're working on is 4 new filters. So currently you are a bit more restricted to the timeframes of when you can filter on. We'll be looking at things such as in the last X amount of days, where X is a time frame that you can stipulate. So if you wanted to look at courses within the last 30 days, we'll also do in the next 30 days, for example, those sorts of filters. So you can have a bit more control over the time frames as opposed to just being like the last 7 days or the next 7 days. And how we've currently got it, you'll have a bit more flexibility around those time frames, having to look at those specific times that you want. And that will apply to all your data grids. So, users, courses, all those sorts of ones. It'll all be across all of those data grids. So you'll be able to use them there. That's a really cool feature that we're working on currently.
I like this one.
I like this one. So this is what we're working on next. So we just covered the now, and we're now looking into the next. So these are the things that we are kind of currently scoping out, currently looking at designing and how we can launch these. And some people have already seen these, but smart summaries, this is called. So this is where the platform will be able to give you a summary of an account, of a course, of a user, for example. So using AI is going to generate those summaries for you, and you'll be able to see, what an account is spending, how much they're doing, what courses are a user booking on, how often do they book, those sorts of things. This has been in beta. We've been testing this out with a few customers, and we're looking at refining this and then fully launching that within this quarter as well. This is a really exciting one. We're really excited to be able to bring this to the platform. And then we are looking at new payment offerings. So again, this is within the next, so something we're still just figuring out and refining, but using Stripe within checkout, giving the option to pay via Apple Pay or Google Pay. And we'll also be looking at adding in Klarna. So if you've got an individual looking to pay via buying a £1,000 course, not everyone has the funds available to pay for that, and being able to pay in installments with Klarna. Again, these are all within Stripe and within checkout only. And also one that we're looking at, which I'm not 100% sure on yet, is ClearPay as well. So Klarna is a really popular one. ClearPay also is quite popular, it seems. So looking at using Stripe again to be able to pay via installments. So yeah, 3 updates to how payments will be, how you can take more payments, make it a bit easier for your delegates. Apple Pay, Google Pay, they're really popular. Klarna and ClearPay again for those installment payments. So these are changes that we're looking at making. And next is a really big piece of work. So this is it's called Document Generator V2. It will have probably a different name to that, but yes, ultimately updating the document generator. The idea around this is to allow you to create things more flexibly. So for example, we hear quite a lot of people want to be able to create different invoice templates. The working idea, as I say, it's still in design, so things may change, is being able to create your own invoice templates. being able to just create more documents within the platform. And then at the minute, you can do things like sign-in sheets and certificates. It's basically expanding that, making that more widely available to different areas, especially invoices is one area we hear so much. So how can we make those invoices more tailored to how you want them to look, as opposed to our standard template? Yes. I've already talked about this one, so I put it in twice by mistake, but this is the filter option again. It is in next. But yeah, it's the more than how many days ago, how many days in the future, and then the next and last however many days. Apologies, I put that in twice. And then we're moving into later. So this is not something, this is something that we're kind of early starting to work on. This is a delegate smart grid. So this, at the minute, you've got your class, thinking about smart grids, so you've got class delegates, web delegates, e-learning delegates, knowledge doc delegates. They're all in separate smart grids right now. What this smart grid will do will bring all of those elements into one view. So if you want to see everything that Jack Chandler has booked onto within your platform, regardless of what course type, you'll be able to go to the delegate smart grid and be able to see every course there.
Nice and quick.
Exactly. It's all in one place without having to navigate to different areas of the platform, have different tabs open. It won't necessarily include all of the specifics from each course type. So you won't necessarily have any web links in there, for example. It'll just be more about a delegate. So you still need to go to the individual ones. But this is a good way to be able to see how many people an account is sending, how many times the delegates attend in, all in one place without having to go to each different data grid and then add them all together, just in one nice view. So this is something that we're looking at planning at the minute. And then jumping back into connectivity. So we've kind of we had an initial list of integrations that we wanted to work on. So we've come to the end of that list, or we are coming to the end of the list, as you've seen. But what's next? So some of the some of the ones that we've heard, ones that we are now considering and want a bit more feedback on to see how popular they may be and the viability of these. So these are ones that we're looking at currently that are under consideration. So the first one is Credly, which is a badging software. So if you complete a course, you get a badge to say you've completed that course, and you can link it with LinkedIn, that sort of thing. Another one is Workday. We've heard this a couple times, mainly a HR platform, so maybe specific and a bit niche, but yeah, looking at how we could link Workday. QuickBooks, so again, going back to financing, looking at Xero. QuickBooks is really popular. So again, how can we link QuickBooks to the platform and how can we have those two linked together? And then another badging software, Accredible. So Credly and Accredible seem to be the two most popular ones that we hear. But yeah, looking at those, if there's any interest in these. These are all on the product portal, by the way. Please feel free to go and vote on them. And that would really help drive so we know what people want. If we don't know, it kind of makes it really difficult to know if it's worth developing. So your input is really important on these, especially anything under consideration. And then a couple more. Sage. So Sage is a bit different to maybe Xero or QuickBooks. They have different versions. I think they've got Sage 50 and Sage Intact, I think is how you say it. So they would technically be two different integrations because they work differently. So it's which version do people use? Do people still use Sage? Has everyone migrated away? Again, understanding what would be useful. And then finally, one that's come up a couple of times recently is WhatsApp. So being able to send delegates messages about courses via WhatsApp. So it could be reminders, it could be marketing messages if they've signed in for marketing. I heard it a couple of times, so it's under consideration because it's come up more recently. But again, if you'd use it, I don't know if people have moved away from using text and phone messages now. So again, it's just trying to understand how useful this would be. So any feedback you've got, please pop that on the product portal. That would be really helpful for us to know what we should be doing next. And talking about the product portal, I just wanted to bring your attention to it. You can access it by going to the help icon, and then clicking product roadmap and product suggestions. And then from here, it now is going to keep you up to date with what we're working on now, what's coming in the future. And if you can then vote on a card when they're released, you'll then be able to be one of the first to hear about it. As I mentioned, we really need votes on cards on the poll to know if it's something that you are interested in. It helps with our prioritization framework by voting too. Customer voice is kind of a score. So if you vote on a feature on here, your voice is being heard for what we should be developing. And then finally, as always, you can click on the submit a new idea if you don't see it on the board in the top right. They're reviewed every week, pretty much every day I'm on there, and they're always under review. So even if it's a not now, we still keep those suggestions tagged. for the future. So it may be that it comes back round. So yeah, if you can use a portal, that would be really helpful. So we know what you need to do. And also, when you click the how important is it to you, making sure that not everything is critical, actually voting, because again, it kind of helps towards prioritization score, knowing what we should be doing first. So yeah, voting, any comments would be really, really helpful. And then finally, well, I say finally, nearly there. Loop Club has been relaunched. We've had our first one-to-one sessions already underway. For those of you who don't know, Loop Club are regular and informal sessions where we connect with you, our customers, to learn how you're using the platform, what's working well, and what you'd like to see us build or improve on as well. It opens the door to be invited to beta releases of new features, where your feedback and your will be able to help us refine and iterate to basically make sure it's successful for full launch. The option to join never closes. It's always open, so we don't have periods of close and open. So if you want to join, please feel free. If you want to join but you aren't already, I have a QR code, or we'll place the link in the chat for you as well. Yeah, please feel free to join. It's absolutely free, obviously. You don't have to join every session. You can choose what you do and don't join. But yeah, it's really good to be able to get your feedback and have more conversations about it. And then finally, that leads me on to our first Loop Club session, which is a feature focus. The first session I have scheduled in is for the 20th of January, and we'll be diving into platform UX and usability. Within the session, we are specifically looking at the main navigation menu, a global add button. So that will be a static button that then you click and you can add a new course from the one location as opposed to having to go to a data grid and press add. And then looking at course scheduling and management of courses as well. We've got some ideas that we want to show you and walk through. We want to hear your opinions and thoughts. So please do sign up for that and come along. Just as a caveat, it's a group call with participants from different organizations. So the discussions will focus on a more general workflow rather than a specific organization use case. So just something to bear in mind as well if you're not necessarily able to have those conversations with other people, that other people will be there too. It's available to book now. I will pop the link in the chat to be able to book. And again, it's free. So please feel free to come along, you or any of your colleagues. Yeah, just book on and come along, and look forward to seeing you there for the first one. So that's kind of where we're up to at the minute with the product and what we've got coming. Next, we've got a couple of Q&As, so we'll just go through those quickly. But if you've got any other questions, please pop them in the box as well. So the first question we have is, our platform doesn't have any standard reports. Will the 30 new reports in Report Engine be released to us? Yes. So when the release is kind of going out in stages and hopefully should be out by everyone by the end of next week. When that release is on your platform, you will then have those new 30 reports on your platform too. So they will be there for you when the release is deployed. You don't need to worry about getting them created or doing anything. They'll just automatically appear when the release is there for you. And then we had another question about adding Apple Pay and Google Pay via any other payment gateways, such as a Payoneer potentially. There is the potential. I would totally be honest at the minute, we're looking at Stripe because of how they are set up is the easiest way to bolt on, I guess for one of a better phrase, extra things like this with the Apple Pay, the Google Pay. But a Payo and Stripe are our two most popular ones. So they're the ones that we'd look at first. Stripe is a bit easier with how they're set up, and then potentially looking at a Payo as well and how we can add those in with the Payo. So yes is the answer. Stripe is initial to get these ones out. And then we'll look at a Payo in the future as well.
I think this is a really good example of how important it is to hear everybody else's voices, how they pay, how they want to pay, how their customers want to pay, because it opens our view to what we should be looking at. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We have obviously have multiple different gateways, so people use different ones. But it's just looking at what's easy in some respects. It's finance is a tricky area anyway, so we don't necessarily want to go diving in making big changes if it's going to cause problems. But yeah, we'll look at Stripe first, then we'll see what else we can get. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date on those. If there's any other questions, please do pop them in. But if not, we will have a poll, which we're going to just launch now.
Slightly over time as well, guys. Apologies.
So sorry.
But we had a lot and we were excited to share.
There's a lot to talk about. But yes, I've just put the poll and launched the poll for our short feedback. It's completely anonymous. It helps us understand what's working well and where we can improve in these webinars. So please do, if you get a second, just launch on there. That's really appreciated. And hopefully you got something from the session today. This was my first product one, so they will no doubt improve as well as time goes on.
No, it was excellent. We've got a lot going on. Thank you, everybody, for giving us your time and your attention. As Jack said, we hope it was useful for you because it was for
Yeah.
us.
If you've got any questions later about anything that we have released or any of the features that we talked about in the future, or if you've got an opinion, please, all those cards that we spoke about today should be on the product portal. Please go on there, vote on them, pop your comments on, good or bad, if you think it's a bad idea. Also, please tell us because that means we develop the right things, and that's what's really important is developing the right things. So please get in touch with any of the team. Yes, and as I mentioned, the 8.6 should be with everyone by the end of next week. So all those features that Helen spoke about, you should have very soon if you haven't already. But yeah, have a great rest of your day and thank you for joining.
Happy New
Bye.
Year. Bye, everyone.